Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. March heralds the advent of spring. It breeds hope. It nurtures the creative impulse. It sustains the drive for a wholesome change. March 23rd, 1940 marked a singular development in the life of the Muslims of the subcontinent. They converged in droves from all parts of India on Lahore, a city cherished for its winding canals, magnificent mosques, gardens and roses, where arts and crafts bloomed, where Persian influence led to the development of a Mughal school, a city that served as the cultural hub of the Muslims. It was a defining moment. They heard their leader chalk out a course that would influence the destiny of Muslims for centuries to come. In the sprawling Mandu Park, Aid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah's voice resonated. Muslims are a nation according to any definition of nation. We wish our people to develop to the fullest spiritual, cultural, economic, social, and political life in a way that we think best and in consonance with our own ideals and according to the genius of our people. In 1916, Mr. Jinnah was hailed as the ambassador of Hindu-Muslim unity, a staunch supporter of Indian nationalism. What transpired in the intervening period to lead to this change of heart in 1940? The Pakistan Resolution and its subsequent adoption by the Muslim League was an answer to the Indian National Congress's consistent attempts to deny the Muslim community a religio-political entity of their own. The crux of the issue was whether India was a unicultural, bicultural, or multicultural state. The controversy began on September 18, 1936, when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru claimed the real contest is between two forces: the Congress, which represents the will to freedom of the nation, and the British government in India and its supporters who opposed this urge and tried to suppress it. Intermediate groups, whatever virtue they possess, fade out or line up with one of the forces. Nehru's two-fourths dictum was not a straight declaration. Soon came Jinnah's response: I refuse to line up with the Congress. I refuse to accept its proposition. There's a third party in this country, and that is Muslim India. We are not going to become followers of any party. The March 23rd Pakistan resolution formally declared India as binational and bicultural. 73 years later, the stock taking continues to reappraise the past in the light of the present. For a few, on the eve of March 23rd, 2013, the winter of despair continues to linger on. For many, a spring of hope has arrived much earlier. The pessimists express unfeigned reservation for Sir Sayyid's two-nation theory, the false dream of Pakistan, Kai's decision to part ways with the Congress. Particularly worrisome today is the recent wanton killings of fellow Shia Muslims and minority groups, as well as suicide bombings, strictly forbidden by Islam. The optimists furnish convincing proof of Pakistan being a country on the march. A physicist winning the coveted Nobel Prize. Pakistani scientists taming the atom in grieving nuclear power reactors. Women on the march in the role of prime ministers, vice chancellors, ambassadors, judges, editors, Oscar-winning producers, fighter pilots, and army generals. An assertive Supreme Court boldly plays its role. The media is vibrant and vocal. The country houses a world-class military institute in the shape of the Command and Staff College at Quetta, which has produced 4 British military chiefs, including World War II hero Field Marshal Montgomery. In its short history, Pakistan has had the unique distinction of being world champion in hockey, cricket, squash, and snooker. Some successes particularly stand out. Six of Pakistani universities are now ranked among the top 500 of the world. Our international research publications have soared from about 600 annually in 2002 to about 8,000 annually in 2012, bringing us ahead of India in terms of research publications per million people. Like the Muslim emperor who built the Taj Mahal, a Pakistani scientist built a magnificent structure in the idyllic surroundings of Nilore commented time. If the Mughal emperors who had built the Taj Mahal were alive today, they would have rubbed their eyes in wonderment at the architectural beauty of Quinstech. In the course of a few years later, the Pakistan Institute of Nuclear Science and Technology, Quinstech, was to become famous not just for its architectural beauty, but its world-class research undertaking. Another Pakistani scientist has earned the world's respect for establishing a much-needed center for theoretical physics research, the Rolls-Royce of the discipline. By and by, the center's focus has come to encompass molecular biology, genetic engineering, and microelectronics. Today, Trieste, tucked away in northern Italy, is a buzz as a science city in the heart of Europe. When the Pakistani scientist died, the United Nations befittingly named the center as the Abdul Salam International Center of Theoretical Physics. These successes were in consonance with the vision of the founder, Akhtar Mahmud Faruqui, whose life spans different centuries, cultures, and continents. He was born in Karachi in 1876, studied at Lincoln's Inn in London, practiced law in Bombay, led the movement which resulted in the creation of Pakistan in 1947, and died in Karachi. Jinnah was renowned for his prettiness and impeccable suits. It was widely rumored that they were stitched in several rows. In appearance, morals, and wit, he was the quintessential Victorian gentleman. Pakistanis remember Jinnah, but a mixture of nostalgia, awe, and admiration. He represents an ideal to them. They see him as a figure of fierce integrity, honesty, and intellect, and as a champion of Muslim causes. Most importantly, he gave Pakistanis hope. He was a leader who succeeded against all odds and gave them their homeland. Jinnah envisaged a country that would foster human rights, women's rights, minority rights, and the rule of law. He was a constitutionalist. In the short period he was Governor General of Pakistan, he established the importance of showing extra consideration to minorities. Once on his way to a state function, he ordered his entourage to stop because he saw a Muslim mob threatening a small group of Hindus with violence. These Muslim refugees who had lost everything in India and were venting their anger. Jinnah, against the pleading of his staff, threw himself into the mob and demanded that it desist. He declared, "I am going to constitute myself the Protector General of the Hindu minority in Pakistan." Today, more than ever, Pakistanis need to read the founder's first speech to the Constituent Assembly, which testifies to Jinnah's vision of a brave, new. You're free to go to your temple, you're free to go to your mosque or to any other place of worship in this state of Pakistan. You may belong to any religion or caste or creed. That has nothing to do with the business of the state. We're starting in the days when there's no discrimination, no distinction between one community and another. We are starting with the fundamental principle that we're all citizens and equal citizens of one state. Today is also a propitious occasion to reflect that the Muslim League was right in its emphasis on bilingualism and in charting out the course that sought to spare the Muslims the agony of a unicultural India, an Indian constitution headed forward by former Chief Justice Rajendra Sarkar confirmed that Muslims are the new untouchable in India. According to Sarkar Commission report, Muslims are now worse off in the list of those called untouchables. In spite of its management problems, Pakistan has continued to offer higher educational, upward economic and social mobility to citizens for the last decade. There have been many wholesome changes, and on the basis of credible data, one could say that Muslims in Pakistan are not only much better off than they are elsewhere in South Asia. They also enjoy higher economic and social mobility than the counterpart neighboring countries. Because time is not but for the speech. All reported before the end of March this year, as an optimist, I feel that spring in Pakistan is not far out. Fiscal governance today, along with large generous leadership, certainly has bred despondency. But these are not solvable issues. Americans today salute Lincoln for saving the Union. They don't suspect to blame him for the damage that another president could have inflicted on America. With all its limitations, Pakistan today remains a Muslim nation with the most democratic freedom in the world. Thank you.